everybody. Hi.
Hi.
We have a fantastic guest here today. This is, what's your name?
Cindy.
Cindy. She's on a play date or weekend with us. So
Yeah.
weekend away from a family, and we are taking good care of Cindy. And what's your name, girls? And who are you?
Little J.
So we have a big J and a little J, and I'm Mommy J. And Cindy is actually another J. What's your English name?
Joanna.
Joanna. So we have the J girls. We always have
J.
the mini J.
Big J. And Mini J. Mini J.
So she's a mini J. So we have a beautiful combination of the J girls. Everywhere we are always having the J combination. So thank you for joining us today on our cow chat. It's been a while. We've gone on our cow chat in terms of our live show. And today we are starting another series. I guess you've seen it on our banner. A series we're starting is virtue. Virtue. So girls, let's talk. What is virtue?
Virtue is something good.
Virtue is something good.
Virtue is something that you value.
Something that you value. That's virtue.
Oh yeah. So if you value a painting, you virtue that painting.
Oh, I'm hearing that's interesting. For me, I think virtue is a standard of behaving.
Oh yeah, like patience is a virtue.
Yeah, exactly. So virtue is a standard of behaving. Is the way we act, is a moral standard of behaving. So we have some slides for you today. We've gathered so many things on the internet. We don't have any copyright to anything we are putting on, but we are just using it to discuss with the kids all about virtue. And I'm just going to bring on the slide quickly. And we said the topic of our discussion today is virtue. And I'll just quickly go and the girls, what is virtue? We talked about that.
Virtue is a pattern of thought and behavior based on high moral standards.
So that's a big English. High moral standard.
So moral, that means human, doesn't it? That's mortal. Okay.
What's moral?
Okay, moral is behavior.
Moral is a behavior standard.
I thought moral meant the ending of the story, like the meaning of the story.
That's another thing. That's another thing. So moral in that sense is talking about something we learn from it. So moral in terms of a standard of goodness or a standard of doing something right. You know, moral is a lesson. So it's like doing something right out of every situation, moral standard. So what are we talking about here? So, and what's another definition there? Joanna, can you read that? This one.
Wait, that one.
Read it, yeah.
A good moral quality in a person's or the general quality of being
morally good. So a good moral quality in a person and the general quality of being good is virtue. So when somebody says you have good virtue, that means you have good morals and you are kind of top notch. So is any of us top notch?
You.
No, no, I'm not top notch. I'm not top notch because I don't think anybody is actually perfect. So we still have a bit of good morals and we're all working on our moral standards. So I don't see myself as morally good. But I like to be, but I'm not sure I am. So let's quickly run down. If we're not talking about virtue, so let's see what Aristotle said about virtue from this video. We're just going to play it 1 minute out of the video. Crash course.
Imagine a person who always knows what to say, who can diffuse a tense situation, deliver tough news gracefully, is confident without being arrogant, brave but not reckless, generous but never extravagant. This is the type of person that everybody wants to be around and to be like, someone who seems to have mastered the art of being a person. This may sound like an impossible feat, but Aristotle believed that while rare, these people do exist, and they are what we should all aspire to be. Virtuous. And there's a whole moral theory based on this idea of virtue. But unlike most of the moral theories we've discussed, virtue theory doesn't spend a lot of time telling you what to do. There's no categorical imperative or principle of utility. Instead, virtue theory is all about character. Rather than saying, follow these rules so that you can be a good person, Aristotle and other virtue theorists reasoned that if we can just focus on being good people, the right actions will follow effortlessly. Become a good person, and you will do good.
So, what does Aristotle tell us about virtue, girls?
If you follow good rules, you'll do good things.
So, if you follow good rules, you would do good things, right? So, you would be a virtuous person. So, you don't being virtuous has to do with your character. So, when you're a good person, you'll be able to develop good virtuous character. And so Aristotle is telling us that all we have to do is to work on being a good person. Make effort to be a good person, and then you would have virtuous character. You'll be a virtuous person. So let's look at those things that are good and those things that are not good. So we're going to look at the right way or the wrong way. So let's see.
Things. No.
Okay, so let's go back and so we have a tug of war. Every one of us have this tug of war. We're always in the situation. So it's either we're going to the left or the right, doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And so Aristotle is saying if you focus on going the right way, you'll be a virtuous person. If you focus on developing your virtues, you have less of vices. So what are vices?
The opposite of virtue.
Yeah.
Huh?
The opposite of virtue.
The opposite of virtue is vices. So anything that you're doing that is wrong or that is out of line
Is
vices. So let's go and see, okay, what are the vices that we've identified? I think we identified some vices from the dictionary. So, girls, who is going to read first? Okay,
Me.
Cindy, can you read?
Which one?
The opposite, the top, just read the top line.
That one?
Yeah, read it.
Oh. Virtue means grace, mercy, praise, behavior, showing high moral standards.
Good. So virtue means grace, merit, any behavior that is showing high moral standard. So Big J, can you go through the opposite of virtue for us, which is vices, that we can spot in this post?
So immorality and debauchery, they're both practically the same thing. They're both doing stuff that isn't really what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the next one is depravity.
Mm-hmm.
That's being morally corrupt. That's just wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Indecency is being indecent. So, like,
the way you dress.
Like decent
the way
is
you
clean.
talk. Yeah, decent is clean.
And then indecency is dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
Vice.
Dirty words. Dirty. Yeah.
and vice is just the opposite of virtue, as you went over.
Mm-hmm.
Corruption, you find that a lot in politics. It's like,
Or
someone,
business.
yeah, or
Yeah.
business, someone changing something to fit the way they want it.
I know
Yeah.
some on
Which one do
this
you know?
side.
Which one do you know? Yeah, tell us.
Wicked, evil.
Aha. So wicked, evil.
Yeah, those are bad things. Like, wicked means that you're like a bad
Mean.
person. Wicked and evil mixed together, they have the same meaning.
And then rudeness, that's just being rude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Impudence
What's
and
impudent?
impertinent are very similar.
What are they?
So they're acting rude, really. It's like rudeness,
Mm-hmm.
a bit
You need to speak
childish
Mhm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There is ribaldry, which is mocking others, laughing at them, misbehavior.
So when you have
Wait,
when you don't have good virtues, you keep laughing at others and pulling others down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
and
there's
guilty.
misbehavior,
Mm-hmm.
which is being bad, really.
Yeah, being bad.
Guilty is
Always making yourself feel guilty or making others feel guilty. You know, there are times that something happens between you and your sister. It's your fault. It's your fault. Always looking for faults from other
Stop.
people. Huh?
I keep saying stop. She keeps cooking. And then there's delinquent, which is like crime
Uh-huh.
or being a criminal. Culpable is deserving blame. So
Okay, so we'll see those
Wait,
example in a sentence. So when we say bravery is a good virtue, patience is a rare virtue these days. Okay, no, so to be guys, this was a very, what's the third line?
this was a very virtuous act he did.
So when you do something right, okay? So there isn't no sin and there isn't no virtue. These are just sentences. Patience is a conquering virtue. Wow, that's a big one. Am I patient?
Yes,
Nah.
you are. Sometimes.
Sometimes, not always. I think all of us should know exactly where we are in terms of being virtuous.
Yeah, you're never patient.
I'm not bad. Oh, Joanna, excuse me, I'm never
No,
patient.
you are sometimes patient.
Are you patient? Any of you patient? Kind of. So,
I haven't thought about it.
now you're thinking about it. So, patience is a virtue. So, you're going away, and we are all thinking about how patient we are in circumstances and how we deal with issues. Okay. So, let's see, what are we talking about in the next slide? We have now, so these are virtue, the real characteristics of being virtuous. So, can we read those ones? So, we have integrity, character.
Trait.
Yeah, so those are traits of virtues: integrity, character, ideals, love.
Respect.
Where's ideals?
Yeah, ideals.
Oh, I thought you were reading on the one on the
No,
right.
no. So, we have value,
Yeah.
hope, goodness. Somebody help me read. I'm the only one reading.
Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Faith. Honor.
Mhm.
Dignity.
Mercy.
So, do we know what all these words mean?
Value. Goodness.
Yes.
We know what it
Chastity.
means.
Chastity, isn't that like
Purity.
a bit straight?
Dignity.
Yeah, purity.
Trait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there any word
Character.
that is there that we don't know, so we can deal with those ones?
Yeah.
Which one?
Chastity and trait, and some people don't know dignity.
Okay, wait. Do you know it?
No.
Okay, so let's
No.
say, what is chastity?
I don't know.
Chastity means being pure. Chastity means abstinence, keeping yourself.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So, which one again? You don't know?
Trait.
Trait is something that identifies you. So, if we say DNA, something that is peculiar to you, your DNA, your trait, something that it belongs to only you.
The trait of Jed to be interrupted.
We are live, girls. So we are looking at the virtues of a personhood. So in the middle of a virtue is your character. So everything about you is your character. So your character stems from your virtue. So what are the virtues you can identify from here? There is one that has to do with moral action, and there is one that has to do with moral relationship. Let's start with moral action. What are the virtues, the character that stems up that we need to develop from that aspect?
Discernment, diligence, temperance, and courage.
The
Good.
ones
So
at the top are moral personhood. So
Pardon?
discernment. I said the ones at the top,
Uh-huh.
integrity and discernment, are moral personhood. So that's not part of moral action.
Yeah.
Diligence, temperance, and courage are moral action. But the top two are personhood.
Okay, so the top two are personhood. The one on the left is relationship, and the one on the right is action. So when we say discernment, what are we talking about? So
Knowing from right to wrong.
knowing from right to wrong, justice, to be able to know how to give people the right justice, to be able to wisdom, insight, to be rational,
Judgment.
to judge, to give people right judgment, not being judgmental, but being able to give people the kind of judgment that they deserve. So integrity, what are the things, the traits that are associated with integrity?
Mm,
Transparency. What does it mean to be transparent?
that people can read you, like,
You are,
you not hide things.
you don't hide things. There's nothing hidden about you. So we have honesty. What else? What's trustworthiness?
Mm.
You're trustworthy. Okay, what's the next
isn't
one?
there also like affirmation?
What's the next one in integrity?
Oh, authenticity.
What does authenticity mean?
Knowing who you are and being authentic to yourself.
And be authentic
If
to
you were
yourself.
in the new me meeting, you would know one of the examples used was everyone is doing French as their language,
Mm-hmm.
but you have chosen Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went with everyone that's doing Spanish, you wouldn't be being authentic to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You'd just be doing what everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's being authentic. So what else in terms of faithfulness? So when you have
faithfulness is like perseverance and persistent mixed together.
So faithfulness is being
not stopping believing in who you want to believe.
Exactly. So faithfulness is being able to be faithful to a cause, when you are giving a certain thing to do, or you're setting an assignment to do, you are always there. So there is something, when we have, for those of us that believe in God, when we say God is faithful, means it doesn't shake, it doesn't change, it's always constant. Do you understand? So that's faithfulness. So let's start look at virtue in terms of relationship. So we have love, respect, and humility. So in terms of virtue, the virtues of love in subcategories, what are the things that are there? Big J?
Altruism.
Mm-hmm.
Generosity.
Generosity.
Generosity is being generous. Generous is giving away what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Want to do something. Away.
Okay.
Mercy is
to be able to show mercy to others, to be able to
give them
mercy,
give them another chance,
give people another chance. Okay, forgiveness and compassion. So all those things about love, is it something that comes naturally to us?
What's altruism? Does it say altruism?
Huh?
Does it say altruism or altruism? I can't read it.
I can't read it properly too.
I think it says.
It says altruism.
Sounds like alto. That's singing. I can't.
Okay.
So, yeah, but most of them do come.
So altruism is having an openness for somebody to, for people to be able to relate with you. Am I right?
No, it's altruism.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. No, I don't think I am.
I think it's.
Yeah, let me check the dictionary. So let's be sure. I think we brought a dictionary today.
ALTRUISM.
ALTUISM. Okay.
So it means
altruism, unselfish concern for the welfare
of others. So unselfish concern. So you're open and you are always concerned for other people's welfare. So if we look at respect, we have kindness, faith, stewardship, reverence, gratitude. This is the one we talked about in house rules.
Oh yeah.
We talked a lot about love and respect. I like humility, obedience, acceptance, and modest. Is that what happens nowadays? Do you see a lot of kids or a lot of people that are obedient, acceptance? But these are the virtues we need. Humility is a virtue. Does humility mean everybody should trample on you? No. Humility means that you are able to accept a situation as it is, but not necessarily allow people to trample on you.
If you were, like, I don't know, over modest, you could call that bootlicking, I guess.
Okay.
Or be like a doormat.
Letting
everyone just throw you around.
But that's not virtue. Okay. So virtue is obedient acceptance. So acceptance of your limitation, acceptance of where you can or where you cannot. That is modesty. And so let's look at virtue in terms of moral action. So we have diligence, temperance, and courage.
What does temperance mean? Does that mean
You can put yourself self-control.
self-discipline?
You see, self-discipline,
Patience.
moderation,
Patience,
chastity,
patience,
purity,
patience.
all that, patience,
Patience.
frugality, all that comes under temperance. You see?
Prince.
So diligent. When Big J, when we say we should go to school and be diligent, look at the words that come with it: industrious, innovation, excellent, responsibility. Huh?
Imitative.
Yeah, imitative.
Initiative.
Is it initiative?
Yeah.
So you take your initiative to do things when you're supposed to. So let's see: courage, boldness, bravery, confidence. Kids at home, each of these characteristics, we are going to use it to have a topic of discussion. So don't worry, we are not rushing everything we are doing today. We are going to talk about it in depth in all our episodes. So we'll be taking each one of them. Now we are actually having a lot of patience in this program today. So Joanna is giving us a run for our money. So the next slide is talking about the types of virtue. So Big J was talking about bootlicking. So you can see that virtue, the middle one, the mean, is what is expected of us.
What does it
Bravery,
say mean?
middle.
Oh, like
In maths,
averages.
in average, yeah. So that
Okay.
is the average. This is where we should be. This is where our virtues we should be: brave, temperate, generous, truth, witty. I like witty, friendly, spirited. Oh, I'm very spirited, conscious.
Indigent. Upset.
What is indignant, Big J?
It's being upset, but it's only being upset with something good. And if you look to the right of indignant, it says retributive, which is like going overboard, being like really angry or fighting.
So when we say that word, it simply means that we have controlled anger. So part of being virtue is having controlled anger, benevolent and industrious. So when we take it to the extreme, if you don't have any virtues at all, what are you? You're a coward. You are stinging.
You are pressure.
Quarrelsome. Yeah. So if we notice
Naturally.
you're lazy. Okay, let's not look at anybody. It's nobody's fault here. When you are mean, you see what? So when you look at all these characteristics and you don't have them, you don't have good virtue. So you can see you are always at this extreme. And when you are excessive of virtue, when you're always harsh, that doesn't mean you're brave. You see? When you always exaggerate, there are some people that their dressing is exaggerated, everything is exaggerated, their lifestyle is exaggerated. So if you look at all that, you can see the two extremes. Virtue, the average we expect is that we should be in the middle. Is there anybody that is in the middle with all these characteristics? No. So sometimes we go from one end to another, and that's where this quote comes in. Big J, read the first quote.
When the norm is decency, that means a normal thing. Other virtues can thrive: integrity, honesty, compassion, kindness, and trust.
Okay.
By Raja Krishnamurti. I can't remember that.
So it means if the norm of a society is decent, the things that kind of virtue that will strive in that society will be integrity, honesty, compassion. So when you see that a society is degraded, that is indecent, all these norms, all these virtues are not there. The society will lack integrity. So let's look around us in our society. Do we feel our society is decent?
Not always.
Not
Sometimes,
always.
and not
So if you look at your school, is the norm of your school decency? If your norm of your school is decency and uprightness, what happened? There's integrity, there's honesty, there's compassion, there's kindness, and there's trust, and all the virtues. So Johanna, read the second one.
Joanna.
Yeah.
Read that one.
Yeah.
Thank you for accepting me as I am with my virtues and defect.
That means that we should
Genuinely
accept
that.
each other. None of us is perfect. If I have some virtues and I have my defect, please accept me just as I am. So, little J, can you read the third one?
It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues.
Ah,
By Abraham Lincoln.
what does that mean?
That means that if you have no bad parts of your art at all,
Mhm.
you have very few good parts of your life.
Oh, that is very good. I think she just said it straight away. Big J, what does it mean? Can you tell us?
But he's basically just saying that if someone seems to be absolutely perfect, usually under the surface, they're not.
Good. So if somebody always seems to be perfect, everything is always, their life is just accurate and in every way, run! That person is hiding things. So don't always seek after people that are perfect, because we are humans and we are working onto perfection. We all have vices and we all have virtues. But the thing is, we keep working to make sure that our virtues are more than our vices. That's our goal. We keep walking into. Oh, so we saw
great
this. We
song.
saw this song, and it talks about virtue is so beautiful. So let's listen to a part of it.
No, everyone not only.
Don't peek, young man. We keeping it virtuous, baby. Dressing modest, we know it's rough. When the world is making it so tough, don't need short skirts or low-cut shirts. Being the way that you are is enough. That's right, baby. Everyone else doesn't seem to care. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up the world like nobody else. By the way that you speak and respect yourself. Girls with integrity are hard to find these days. You gotta know, you are so beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'd understand why I need no modesty. Right now I'm talking to you and you must believe. You gotta know, virtue is so beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
So virtue, girls, is what makes you beautiful.
And boys.
And boys. But I'm talking to 3 lovely J girls here. So it's important because virtue is what is a character, is what makes us. It's that thing that people looks at and appreciate who we are. And we've noticed that a society that is decent have very good virtues. So we should grow up and with to kids around, to the kids at home, and to all our parents, we should grow up to be people with integrity, that are trustworthy, that have a virtue to build a moral, decent society. Because in a morally decadent society, virtue is lost.
Does it mean decayed? Like
Decay,
rotten?
now rotten society. So let's quickly run up and see what else do we have in terms of we just had a little bit of a break and we danced up. So
Don't peek, young man.
so let's go. So we can see other features of virtue. I will read that quote. The greatest minds are capable of the greatest vices as well as the greatest virtue. So in other words, if you have a great mind, we are capable of having the good and the bad. But whatever we discipline ourselves to is, if we discipline ourselves to have virtue, we would have more virtue. And if we discipline ourselves to have vices, we'll have more vices.
It's a bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, what a day he was good, but then at night he became really bad.
So it's your choices that make you who you are. So let's see, what are the features of virtue? Can we read that, Big J?
There's a lot. Prudence, temperance, moderateness, honesty, courtesy, tolerance, humility, kindness, bravery, loyalty, perseverance, generosity, courage, modesty, foresight, justice, fortitude, and assertiveness.
If I have all this, I'll be a saint. But you can develop all this. You guys are still young, so you can decide that I'm going to be brave, I'm going to show courtesy. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to show kindness. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be loyal. These are all the virtues that makes you grow up to be decent adults. Okay, little J, it's very important. This slide, you have to go and paste it on your bed. And every day,
it's inside the laptop. I can't take it
who can
out.
print it out? We'll print it out and we'll paste it on your forehead every day as you are going out. Courage today, modest tomorrow, perseverance, and generous. So we'll develop tolerance. And tolerance is a virtue that is lost in our society today. And because there is no tolerance, there is more decadence, there is no decency. Because you should be able to accept anybody's view. It doesn't matter. You don't have to accept the people, but you can accept their view. In other words, if somebody wants to choose this lifestyle, yes, that's your choice. But I don't have to take that lifestyle and accept that that lifestyle is right for me. Okay, so whatever lifestyle anybody choose, tolerate them, but that doesn't mean that you should accept it as the right thing. That is where it's important that tolerance is. Oh, we should talk about tolerance, which is lost in the society. What just happened to our presentation? All right, so we can see that this is where we start looking at virtue in another angle. So when you see virtue and value, yesterday we were talking in the New Me Bedtime Story, and we said keep your values as yourself because that's what makes your identity. Now, your values are what you created by your design. Okay? Your values are subjective, they are your opinion. And one of the girls yesterday said, I value maths. You see? She said, not everybody value maths. So that's subjective to her. But when you're talking about virtue, it's objective, it's a fact. Patience is a fact. It's not somebody values patience and another person doesn't. So most of the time, virtue are external, values are internal. Virtues are objective, values are subjective, and virtues are universal, is accepted by everybody. Why values are by person. That's what the girl that said yesterday about maths. That is a value. And you can see virtue are morally perceived right or wrong. So maths is not perceived right or wrong. There's nothing wrong in whether you like maths or not. But there's everything wrong in thievery. Let's use the word of awesome. So all those things that we read, there's something wrong in evil. There's something wrong in wickedness. Okay, so these are other things. Virtues are eternal, are divine, while values are temporary and they are humans and they are variable. So your value at 7 years old will be different from what your value is at 11. And it will be different from what your value is at 16 and what your value is at 18. But when it comes to virtue, patience is courage is a constant thing. Can you see why it is different? So you have to understand what values are and what virtues are as you're growing up. So you keep holding to your virtues. It doesn't change. Being chastity will not change. Being a pure person will not change because those are virtue that you hold on to. And if we look at the gift of character, virtues are the things that make you. So they are so long there. We got that from a post called the Virtue Project. So I want each of you to read 5 of that. So let's start with B2J. Let's start. Assertiveness. Assertiveness.
Please,
Okay, the big J, can you start?
Assertiveness, caring, cleanliness, commitment, compassion.
Okay. Yeah, read. Confidence. Confidence.
Confidence, consideration, cooperation, courage, courtesy.
Okay. Create. I'll read first, Joanna. Creativity, detachment, determination, diligence, enthusiasm, excellency, flexibility. Okay. Can you read this, Joanna?
Like the old.
Yeah. Where my mouse is. Can you read that?
Okay. Forgiveness.
Friendliness.
Friendliness.
Generosity.
Generosity. Gentleness. Helpful. helpfulness,
Uh-huh.
honesty,
Uh-huh.
honor,
Uh-huh.
humility,
Humility. Big J.
Idealism,
Mm-hmm.
integrity, joyfulness, justice, kindness, and love. Loyalty, moderation, modesty, orderliness, patience, peacefulness, and perseverance.
Oh yeah, BTJ.
purposefulness,
Reliability. Yeah.
reli-
Reliability.
reliability, respect, responsibility, self-discipline, service, tact, thankfulness, tolerance, trust,
Trustworthiness. Truthfulness. Understanding. And
unity.
imagine if we all have all these characteristics. At least if we have
All
10 of them each in a classroom, that classroom will be decent, will be orderly, and will be friendly. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So this is what is missing. It's okay. This is what is missing in the society. And I hope that as you're growing up, girls, and the children that are watching at home, they will pick up this virtue and they will say, okay, this is what we are going to do with ourselves. As we grow up, we would develop a strong character. Is that okay? All right, so let's see what else do we have on our PowerPoint today. I think we've almost done. Yeah, so we have some other quotes. Big J.
Similar to the
Yeah, that's similar to it. So Big J, what's the quotes there?
being forced to work and forced to do your best will breed you intemperance and self-control, diligence and strength of will,
Mm-hmm.
cheerfulness and contentment, and 100 virtues which the idle will never know.
Ah,
By Charles Kingston.
okay. So what does that mean?
If you do your best,
Uh-huh.
you'll increase your virtuosity.
Uh-huh. So you increase your virtuosity into 100-fold. So how are you able to do your best? By working hard, by putting your best into it. Then you breed temperament and self-control, and you breed diligence and will of strength of will, strength of character. But it says an idle person will never know that. A lazy person and somebody that is developing vice would never know that. Okay. All right. So I'll read the next one. A home is the chief school of human virtue. So it starts from home. So that means you start developing your virtue from the home. You don't wait to develop it in school. Parents, as you're listening to us, the home is where kids should develop their virtue from. So virtue is developed from the home and not outside the home. It starts from the home. All right. Joanna, you're scratching your face, okay? Okay, we'll drop something on it very soon. So, big little J. Vices, read that.
Sometimes only virtues carry to excess.
So vices are sometimes only virtues carried to excess. In other words, when you have virtue, that's the excess of vices. Yeah, because virtue is in the middle of the what's that? Big J.
In the middle of the virtue continued.
So I wanted you to pay attention. So read that.
Okay.
So
The left is deficiency and to the right is excess.
uh-huh.
Can't read it like this. Too small.
Okay.
Can you full screen?
I should full screen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
integrity.
mhm.
Having no integrity is corruption. Having too much integrity,
Is legalism.
discernment. Too
Mhm.
little of it is foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of it is judgmentalism.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Too little of it is selfishness, and too much of it is enablement. Kind of
Mhm.
like bootlicking.
Yeah, bootlicking, yeah.
Respect. Too little of it is disregard, and too much of it is idolatry.
Uh-huh.
Humility. Too little of it is pride, and I think it's the other way around. Oh no, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, proud is an extreme.
Humility. Too little of it is pride, and too much of it is degradation.
That's the one that
Yourself down.
people put yourself down, everybody step on you. What's the next one? Diligent?
too little of it is slothfulness, too much of it is workaholism.
Ah, okay.
Good.
So what's the next one? Temperance.
Temperance, too little of it is licentiousness,
That's
having no self-control.
no self-control.
And too much of it is strictness,
True.
trying to control
Yeah,
others.
stiffing. Yeah.
And courage, too little of it is cowardice, and too much of it is foolhardiness, going really silly because you want to look great.
Aha. You see? So we are back to the screen. Guys, we are back to the screen. So you can see that it's important that we stay in the middle when it comes to virtue and developing our virtues. So the question is, what virtues
we develop from today?
Yeah, so what are the virtues you're going to work on today? Mine is patience.
Yours is also
Did you
Why
just
do you
say
look at yours?
yours? What
Look
about
at
your own? What are the virtues you're developing today? Big J?
love.
Can we
Love.
Just go, oh,
Okay.
yeah. Can we go to the one with the big list? The tree, the one with the tree. That's Virtues Project.
What? Which one?
Back.
We should go back
Mhm.
and look for the virtues. So what? Okay, so she wants us to, so we can see the virtues we want to develop.
Aha.
Aha. So what virtues are you developing to virtue tree? I am assertive.
Kindness.
I am caring.
Humility.
Humility.
Unity.
Unity,
Love.
Love. Good. Okay. Joanna is developing that.
Cleanliness.
Ah, ha, ha.
Orderliness.
Ha, 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 ha.
Creativity.
Okay, don't shout. We are still live. Don't shout. Okay. What else?
Excellence.
Excellence. Enthusiasm.
Generosity.
Everything. You're developing everything. Wow. Big J, what are you developing?
Karen.
I can't see.
What are you developing?
What's the first? Assertiveness.
Assertiveness.
Commitment. Oh yeah. Cooperation, I guess.
Cooperation.
Diligence. Determination.
Self-discipline.
Yeah.
Responsibility. You see?
Then
What else?
just need to get that one.
Integrity.
Trustworthiness and trust.
Excellency.
Kind.
Flexible. So we all have all these virtues we need to develop.
There it is.
Yeah, we all have all these virtues we need to put into work. You know, none of us is perfect. So kids at home, we have a challenge for you today.
Yes.
What are the virtues you are going to develop every day from today? So you can look at this tree of virtues that we have put up, write them down, put it on the wall in your room. These are the virtues I'm going to develop from today.
Hey, Gavin, what is the virtues video?
You want to watch the virtues video. So let's go and this note, I think this is our last slide, and Big Little J wants to watch the virtues video, and I think we'll end our broadcast from there. So
Don't pick young man. We keeping it virtuous, baby. Dressing modest, we know it's rough. When the world is making it so tough, don't need short skirts or low-cut shirts. Being the way that you are is enough. That's right, baby. Everyone else doesn't seem to care. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up the world like nobody else. By the way that you speak and respect yourself. Girls with integrity are hard to find these days. You gotta know, you are so beautiful.
everyone, and not just girls alone, all of
You
us.
understand why I need your
We need
honesty. Right
modesty,
now I'm talking to you.
we need integrity.
You gotta know, virtue is so beautiful.
Virtue is so beautiful. We all need to develop it as an individual and as a
Only
society.
thing the girls are virtuous, baby. So come on, must have it wrong. To prove we're right, we put it in a song. We don't know what you'd want a guy that only cares what he sees with his eye. Everyone else doesn't seem to care. Everyone else but you. Baby, you light up the world like nobody else. By the way that you speak and respect yourself. Girls with integrity are hard to
Everyone
find
with
these days.
integrity. I have to find
Maybe you light up the world like nobody else. By the way that you speak and respect yourself. Girls with integrity are hard to find these days. You gotta know, you are so beautiful.
Baby, you light up the world like nobody else. By the way that you speak and respect yourself. Girls with integrity are hard to find these days. You gotta know, you are so beautiful. Only you saw what I can see. You understand why I need your modesty. I never talking to you when you must believe. You gotta know that you are so beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I want to say bye-bye. We'll see you next time as we'll pick up another topic of virtue or we go on another tangent. But we'll see you next week, Saturday. Bye. Pick up the virtues this week and a virtue trait and work on it. We'll see you. Bye.